Channel Intermittent Product Video Training Series. What we're going to do today is set an intermittent sampling relay, and we're going to wire in one of the FlowServe 1036 valves. It does actually say, and I never really installed one of these because mostly it's all booked. Wiring diagram inside cover. It's right there. Wiring diagrams on the inside. So when you do remove these 3 bolts on here, I'm going to open it up. You'll see on the inside of this, there's a wiring diagram. So, I'm going to bypass this because I've done it a few times. Typically, this is your valve. Okay, now, unlike a motorized ball valve or unlike my Moto G valves or the solenoid valves, this isn't a 3-wire valve. It doesn't have ground, neutral, and hot. It has ground, neutral, hot to open and hot to close. So there's going to be 4 wires in here and not 3. So what we have to do, I'm going to set that down for a second. We do have to remove one of the relays, one of the pigtails that are on the bottom here. The pigtails will only give you 3 wires. It's not going to give you the one to close. Unless, you cheat with normal building codes, which I do not recommend. And some guys have used the ground here to open it. Don't do that. It's somebody else will come across there. They're going to see the ground. They touch it, and they're going to get electrocuted. So, what I've done. First thing, this is going to be a 2-part. First, we're going to wire the valve. We're going to test it, and then we're going to set up the relay. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to designate this just like the bleed on R1. So you're going to come in here, you're going to remove your plastic sheet, your plastic coating, your cover. It says, okay, now people could get hurt with this thing. We're exposing all the, make sure that your power's off, that it is unplugged from the wall. You don't want it plugged into the wall. I'm going to be very, very, very careful. And what I found is I took the R1 plug off of here, which was right in here, the 3rd one, and it would have been hooked to where it's printed here, R1, normally closed and normally open. I took off the neutral and the ground from the R1 so that I could remove that plug. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my Let's American. I'm going to take my makeshift wires. Now I don't have a ground, and for the sense of this test, or just to indicate to you guys, I only have a 3-wire here. I do have a white, a black, and a red. Okay, so I'm going to put the white into the neutral. It should go right there. And I'm going to put the black into the normally open, which is right there. And I'm going to put the red into the normally closed, which is the second side of that relay, right there. And normally I'd run a green to ground, just to make sure that the valve is grounded. That was not real world. Okay, and I didn't run it through the conduit. I probably should have, but I didn't. You guys would in the normal verse. So I come here to my neutral, and this is Walcam's valve that they sell. It's the FlowServe one, and there's a motor here. This is your directions for your valve. It runs off of the valve, and then this is the open and close switch, basically right there. So we have one leg that'll be off like this. This will be your neutral. Make sure you consult with your manufacturer. If it's a FlowServe valve, absolutely that one's going to be the neutral. The other one that runs to the switch, and I'll show you in a second. I'm going to wire nut that. The other side of this motor here that we have here is running to the top of the switch. Okay, you can see it right there. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to take the black. We're going to want it to one leg of the, and then we're going to have the red, and we're going to run it to the other leg of the switch, right to there. Okay, so let me know I'm running a solid core wire. That way I can make sure that they don't touch. In this little bitty area, you get wires that want to touch each other. I ran a solid core just so I can make sure it doesn't touch anything. So even when I go to move it around, so I'm going to turn it to the side here so that eventually we can see and hear it moving. Okay, normally you put the cover on, there is a conduit hub in the back here, you know, seal it all off and things like that. We're gonna go ahead and take, it's not gonna wanna close for us, but that's close enough. We're gonna go ahead and turn it on. Okay, so the valve opened. So what I did on there, and it really doesn't label it on these, is the valve, I'm gonna shut it off just for a second. This open and close switch, it may tell you on there, I really can't see it, but what I may have done is I may have hooked the close to the close, so I'm gonna switch those two. I'm gonna switch black and red, just so I have it opening properly. Okay, so when we go to turn it back on again, we're gonna hear it close. Right now the valve is open. We're gonna hear it close. Because I want the power on the close side of the valve. So look at the valve real quick. Yeah, valve is closed. So now I know I'm positive I have them in the right place. If you go to power it up and it does that too, it opens, you just got your, now you can either switch them here in the valve, or you can switch them here on the top here. That's normally open, normally closed, switch them there. Now your valve will be operating the way you think it is. So we're gonna go here, we're going to go to outputs. Our bleed, which is R1, right now it's in, we're gonna hit the maintenance, we're gonna go all the way down to the bottom, because mode is the key to all of this. It's in on-off mode. Not for boilers. What we wanna do is intermittent sampling. Okay, we're pan down, found intermittent sampling, we can pan back up, manual, on-off, dual set point time proportional, intermittent sampling, bleed, feed, blah, blah, blah. We're gonna pick intermittent sampling, we're gonna hit the check. Gonna give it a second. We're gonna hit the maintenance button again. Of course, in the handoff auto, what you wanna do is you wanna switch it to auto. So that's trying to open the valve. We're gonna have a set point of 1,000 right now, and right now it's doing one of its intermittent samples. Okay? So you can see it already tried to do one of them. Set point is 1,000. Proportional deadband is 25. And again, you can change those by anything, 500, 1,500. We'll have to check. Okay, see how simple it is. Proportional deadband. Sampling time. Sampling time is right now is 10 seconds. That's the thing that you just saw. It did it for 10 seconds. And then we pan down one more time. Hold time is 30 seconds. And blowdown is 1 minute. If it needs to do a blowdown, it'll do it for 1 minute. And the wait time in between is 5 minutes. So right now it's in a wait time, trying to wait for that thing. Interlock, you want to make sure this is going to be a boiler, so it's really not going to have a flow switch. Unless you put on some kind of flow switch to say, okay, the boiler's on, or maybe the, you know, it's that time of the, you know, we really need to. You could actually have a service clock on there and tie it into it. That way you wouldn't feed chemicals into the boiler if it was just sitting there dormant. Wait time, interlock channels. Activate with channels is the same as it used to on the other ones. Means is that when something else comes on, I want this relay to take a sample. You don't ever really want to. Reset total. Hand limit time, again, is very nice. It's set for 10 minutes, but that means that valve is going to stay open for 10 minutes. You may want to cut that down just to make sure nobody leaves it on for 10 minutes. It's intermittent sampling. And right now it does call itself bleed automatically when you set it to intermittent sampling. Unlike some of the other ones, it doesn't automatically set that for that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back up to the top and I'm going to kind of put in some odd numbers just so we can see it do it. The sampling time is every 10 seconds. Hold time is we're going to put that for also for 10. Nope. Going to pan over so it does it minutes and seconds. 10. Max blowdown, we're going to turn that way down also to 10. I don't recommend these set points for you, but these are just so we can run the, and wait, right now is on 5 minutes. We're going to change that to 10 seconds. Okay, so everything's on 10 seconds. So right now it's going to take a sample for 10 seconds. Close the cell and hold for 10 seconds. And then it's going to wait for 10 seconds. And then it should take another sample again. for 10 seconds. So you can see basically the three different functions of them and how they run. There you go. Okay, so on for 10 seconds, and of course that is when it starts. 10 seconds is an 8-second valve, so it's really only a couple of seconds that it is open. And you can see it's moving inside here. See, this plate tells it. You can see the switch down. When it goes to move, this is just a positioning switch. It feels like the movement of it, and you can see this plate has different levels to it, which moves the switch up and down. And it's going to come into another cycle. It's flat. It's low, 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 low. And it's going to raise up. Then it understands that it raises up. So that's basically how it tells. I wouldn't put your fingers in there. Those are gears. Don't feel so good. And it's going to drop down. It knows that it's open. Okay. Very good. Very good. And now wait for 20 seconds. So, in summation, we get back to the top. We're going to go back in here. We're going to go to outputs. We're going to go to bleed. Hit your maintenance. Make sure your hand off auto is auto. Make sure your set point is for the set point that you want it to bleed to, or keep it proportional band. Is your dead bandwidth from your set point down. I don't always recommend 25. It's really small for any kind of things. Sample time. Sample time is how long do you want the valve to come open and take a sample. How long do you want it to clear out the line, things like that. Right now it's sets in minutes and seconds. Hold time, which is next. Hold time is how long do you want it to hold it before you actually stick with that one. It goes ahead and closes. You want it to sit in the liquid for how long? For 10 seconds. And maximum blowdown is if it needs to be corrected, how long do you want it to stay open? A minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. You don't want to just waste a lot of energy.